I gave 25 men my phone number and no one reached out to me. The bar is in hell, and I strongly do not believe in the male loneliness epidemic. Wait, that's a lie. One reached out to me but stopped responding after 2 exchanges. I'm on a 12-month dating detox, hit the 6 month mark, and decided I want to try having guy friends. So I downloaded an app. On this app specifically, you can toggle on here just for friends. So I clearly toggled that on. When you look at my profile, you'll see my name, where I'm at, here just for friends. It's very clear, here just for friends. So I ended up having quite a few matches. Because I'm an intentional person when getting to know someone, and everyone always complains about these apps and wanting to get off the apps, I came up with a message saying, hey, I'm on here for friends. If you want to get to know each other casually, here's my number. And none of them but one responded. And at this point, it doesn't even feel like one responded because he stopped texting me after 2 exchanges. Can you imagine if I was at a bar, me in a bar, and I gave 25 men in that bar my telephone number, and 90% of them didn't even acknowledge me, didn't acknowledge anything, just nothing. Like, I'm speechless. I
So we can understand that you're equating two different things, or several different things. That the bars and how you're referring to dating, right? But you're clearly saying that you're on the side of the app that is just desires of friends. Okay, so you have the opening line and you equate that to giving people your number, and then you later equate that to imagining if you're at a bar, you gave 25 people your number and no one and all but one person called you. When we are so quick, right, to join into the male hating or the dating is awful trend, we're taking these disparate moments and we're trying to put it together to fit this, to serve it up on a platter so people can say, oh, yeah, me too. That's happening to me too. But if you're looking for friends and you're telling these men you're looking for friends, they they're within their own rights to say, I don't want to be your friend. I don't want to be your friend. Men, their friendships form differently in that sense. If men are on those on a dating app, even on a friend section, he's probably still looking for friends with benefits. Or men aren't really going out and saying, I wish I had more female friends to hang out with. That's never been really the thing the majority of men have said. It's usually quite the opposite, right? But again, I think if this also comes down to you're just not entitled to male attention, and that's sometimes it's a hard thing for people to swallow. But before we do a deeper dive into this one, and I get to make key in on those points I just mentioned, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss new uploads, and let's get right back into this.
gave 25 men my phone number and no one reached out to me.
Right there. So we know because we watched it before. You didn't really give 25 men your number. You match with people on an app about being friends, and your opening line is this. That's not the same as you guys had a back and forth and exchange and said, hey, there's something here. We've got a spark, this chemistry, even if we're just trying to be friends, even if just trying to be on a friend thing, on a friend tip, take my number down, let's hang out sometime. It's very different. If I just plastered my number and every the first woman I see, hey, let's be friends, here's my number, I'm just looking for friends, you wouldn't get to know me casually, here's my number, and she doesn't call, I can't really count that as something like against them. Your approach is all wrong. If you want to be friends with someone, if you're looking for friends, one, you're using a dating app for friends. That's a bad start. Most people make friends of friends or friends from workplaces or places that you constantly congregate. But if you want to try the app, then you have to take the downsides of the app. And it's the same downsides as the dating part. That people coming here for different intentions with different reasons. You're on a dating hiatus, 6 months in, you're on a dating app, and that's going to be sort of hard to square that circle. But let's set that aside. These men can decide who they want to be friends with. Everyone can. You're again, because you're not dating, cool. Because you gave your number to people in an almost awkward sort of sense, which I would get was probably more the reason why these people didn't reach out. That's probably the reason. Again, men may be, all right, we matched. Let me see if we can have a conversation. You open in line. is if you want to know me casually, if you want to get to know each other casually, here's my number. That's awkward. That's just awkward, right? And again, men form friendships for different reasons, and men usually have other men as friends because that's a time when they can sort of just be themselves and let out a lot of that steam and angst and just bro out and just not think about things heavy or talk about things that are heavy, but in a sense where this is not going to be something that later on comes to bite them or later on is used against them in the next upcoming emotionally charged argument. So you have to understand, if you think about the male friends you had in your life, where did you obtain them? How did you get them? Was it from someone originally trying to date you and then you friend zone them? I think most women would understand that that's really not an accurate friendship. That's someone waiting in your orbit, say someone waiting in the rafters for you to have a moment to suddenly see them as, as desirous. Really not the same thing as having a genuine friend. A lot of those male female friendships come over time. Maybe it was in college. Maybe he was a friend of a friend or dated one of your other friends and you got a chance to get to know that person over time. Trying to look for friends on dating apps is not the way I think you're going to go. Then to say later on in the video that imagine going to a bar and giving your number out. It's almost as if you want to equate this to being rejected because you shot your shot or you overcame you decided, all right, I'm gonna get out of my comfort zone and I'm gonna give men my phone number at a bar. No, it's not the same thing. It's really not the same thing. You got to go from understanding being desirous or having men being desirous of you in the romantic of the sexual sense is nowhere near the same. It's nowhere near the same as when they're looking for friends. There was that trend some time ago where men were saying how they don't really like their girlfriend, right? Like in terms of being friends, of being like relatable, being cool, like their guy friends. It's a different type of thing. It's apples to oranges. Women often complain that guys they'll say guys are gay because all he wants to do is hang out with his guy friends, so he must be gay. No, it's a very different type of vibe. They're very different type of energy. When you have those those friendships, well, I guess what I'm trying to get at is trying to develop a genuine friendship off a dating app is something that's going to be wrought with danger. Right? It's going to be wrought with danger. What you often need is time and a history and a shared history. You can't jump the gun and make that happen immediately and then equate that to dating. Then equate that to you being at a bar, and then equate that to rejection because it's another fun thing we like to complain about on social media that you stepped out of your comfort zone, you did the right thing, and these men turned around and said, "No, I'm not interested." That happens. That's fair. That's fine. You're just not entitled to male attention. That's probably the moral of the story. That might be the one of the title of this video if it jives with the YouTube algorithm. But listen, if you think I missed something, if you got something to add, let me know down in the comment section. Again, if you see videos on your screen right now, take a look. Let me know what you think. They should be my videos. Someone let me know if they're not my videos. And of course, if you listen to my voice, listen to me, jive on for a couple minutes, then and you haven't subscribed, you probably should. You probably should. I think you'd enjoy the channel. I'll see you in the next one.